Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are two of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.
Hi, I'm Adam Heath Avitable.
And I'm Sarah.
This is Dating Kinda Sucks, a podcast about dating, sex, and relationships. And this week we'll be having a conversation with reality TV star Chloe Veitch.
In April 2020, Essex-born Chloe Veitch became lockdown famous when Too Hot to Handle, the Netflix series she starred in, went viral around the world. The reality dating show that penalized contestants for any physical contact quickly outpaced the channel's Love is Blind for worldwide views and made Chloe, who left the show still single, as a breakout star, rocketing from 6,000 Instagram followers to an eye-watering 1.9 million.
The show still sits as the channel's sixth most watched show worldwide. And in the wake of Too Hot to Handle success, Chloe, now 23, has also starred in The Circle US, also on Netflix, as well as a number of UK TV projects, including Eating with My Ex on BBC Three, and most recently Celebrity Hunted on C4, which she partnered with Drag Race winner, the Vivienne.
Chloe has guested on chat shows around the world, from Ellen in the US to Steph's Packed Lunch in the UK. In spring 2022, she is filming a new TV project to be announced soon. Chloe has her own brand new podcast called BANGIN, available on all podcast platforms. Well, I'm trying not to there's like smaller bangs happening, and I'm just like, I can't. This is too much.
We're recording this in the
This is too
morning.
much.
So that we can connect with Chloe, who is in the UK, at a decent time for her. So we're doing this in the morning, so it's early for both of us. Sarah's in Guatemala, where there's construction and explosions going on.
There's literally explosions going on right now, and I'm trying to go through this intro, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So this is our first time interviewing somebody that's a little bit different. Chloe is quite a personality from everything we've seen on YouTube and from the she's only in Netflix shows. She's also only had one episode of her podcast just drop yesterday, so there hasn't been many episodes of that yet. So we'll be enjoying talking to her about all of these different topics, about dating, about fame, things like that, and it looks to be quite an interesting show.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to hold anything back. She has a big personality, and I expect our conversation to be full of life and some wild topics if we can get there.
That's what I like. I like when we can find people who are kind of like us, that like have no problem being very blunt and very like just transparent about things. And we'll talk about embarrassing things. And it seems like she's going to be just like that, which is fantastic for us. And I think it'll be a great show. And so after the break, enjoy our conversation with Chloe Veitch.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi,
how
Chloe.
are you? Good.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And we'll give you a couple caveats, by the way. We are both in different locations. I'm in a hotel in Colorado. Sarah's in Guatemala, where there's explosions going on.
Did you just hear that?
Yeah.
So I'll be on mute at times because there's like randomly fireworks and things going off right now at 10 in the morning.
In Guatemala. Who knows what's going on?
Why? I don't get it. Why is there fireworks going on?
I'm not sure.
We have no idea. So just to be aware, occasionally there might be some random noises, and that's why. But thank you for taking the time to join us.
You're welcome. Thank you. I just want to apologize for the camera quality. I have got an Apple Mac, but it broke. I can't log into it, so I'm having to use someone else's laptop. And if the quality is really bad, let me know, because I can always log in on my phone, because the camera quality is always better on that.
Oh no, you're fine.
Yeah, I think it looks fine. It looks fine. You'll be fine on this. I think it's no problem. You're photogenic anyway, so I think it'll be good.
Oh, thank you.
So let's welcome to the podcasting world. Like, this is you are now a member of the world of podcasters, and with BANGIN, that just came out yesterday, right? Your first episode.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it came out yesterday. I can't believe I'm in the little like tribe of podcasters now. I've always wanted a podcast, but I wanted to make sure that it was something that I was passionate about. I didn't just want to start a podcast because I didn't even know podcasts existed last year until lockdown, really. But I get most of my motivation from listening to podcasts in the morning, and like most of my advice through podcasts. So I just needed to start a podcast called Bangin to just talk about things that I love talking about.
Which include what? Let's see. What are the passions that you've really decided you're going to focus on?
Some of the passions, just being myself and being able to have no filter and being able to swear, being able to talk about what I want to talk about, like sex life, dating life, what's going on in my life right now that I want to talk and vent about, because there's so much stuff that goes on with mental health and stuff in the public eye and on social media that people talk about, and like hashtag be kind and stuff like that. So I wanted the podcast to be something on somewhere where a guest would come on and then just vent what's relevant in their life right now, what do they need to rant about, and to just get rid of certain stigmas about sex and dating, and like, why should a guy have to text a girl first? Why can't a girl text a guy first? And just getting loads of different people's opinions.
And nothing's off limits. Just, whatever you're feeling, whatever you're in the mood for is what we're going to talk about pretty much.
Amazing. Yeah, literally.
Yeah, because I was listening to a little bit of it and I was just like, man, like they're going through anal, they're talking about this and that. And like, it's so refreshing. I know. It's just so refreshing to just be yourself and go, fuck it. I'm going to talk about this. Like, this is who I am. And I hope, other people will appreciate you for actually talking about those topics.
Definitely. And I feel like coming off the back of Too Hot to Handle and coming off the back of The Circle, I kind of turned The Circle into a dating show because I just fell for someone that was clearly a catfish. And so many people always say to me, like, Chloe, like, we want to see more of your personality. And obviously I don't have the editing rights to any of the shows that I go on. So whatever they choose to show is whatever they choose to show. And I feel like I really want to give my fans and other people the chance to get the raw version of me and to actually see how I act on a day-to-day basis without film cameras being in my face, and just being in a little safe space of my own podcast and building up a little community of people that think the same way as me and act and go about their day the same way as me, or just want advice. I'm so sorry, the dogs are making such weird noises.
And I heard it sounds like your dog is choking. Are they okay?
They're just cleaning themselves.
Oh yes, I recognize that noise. Yes. That's the thing. It must be a little frustrating sometimes to know what you said and did on, like, when you were on camera, and then to see how they edit it to make you either look like the bad guy or the ditzy person or anything like that. Did you get frustrated with that?
Sometimes, yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
When Too Hot to Handle first come out, and I watched it because it was the first show I'd ever been on, I was like, oh my God, look at me on telly, Mum, I've made it. And then the comments, and like, I forget that people don't actually know me. They don't know me. They just see me for a brief couple of hours on TV, and then they feel like they know me. And someone said to me the other day, what is your brand? And I'm like, I don't know. What is my brand? Like, I'm just me. But that is my brand. I'm like authentic in that way. But I feel like sometimes on TV, I do get perceived as someone that's really dumb and someone that hasn't really got any idea of how to live life, which is kind of true because I don't fake it. But I also want to show people that there's a lot more to me that meets the eye. I'm not just someone that glams up a little bit. I also look like a tramp 99.9% of the time. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. It's okay to cry. It's okay to have meltdowns over guys. It's okay to go through the psycho stages of a relationship. And that's also one of the things as to why I wanted to start the podcast, just to kind of get rid of certain stigmas.
Yeah, and it's pretty easy too on a reality show that they'll just typecast you into that type of role of like the ditzy person or whatever, where now you're like, yeah, I might be a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but I'm growing as a person. Who the hell even has it figured out in life to begin with? And here's my show.
Yeah, I mean, I was 19 when I first went on Talk to Handle. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And do you know what? I could have been portrayed a lot worse, but I didn't. So I'm grateful that I just come across as the ditzy one. I feel like on The Circle, you see a bit more of my personality. But fingers crossed, there's more shows where I can show like a bit more of me. Because I'm grown now. I'm a grown-ass woman.
That's right. That's right. And I feel like a podcast is a great experience, a great place for you to be yourself, and for people to start seeing you for you. They can see your your intelligent side. They can see your ditzy side. They can see all of it. You can share stories however you decide you want to share them, and that's a great thing about having a podcast, as we've done over the last 5 years too. Just being able to be very honest and transparent is important.
Definitely.
How would you say that, like, since before when you were 18 and you weren't on reality show, and then after the last couple of years, how your dating life has changed? Obviously it's probably changed because you were younger and now you're older, but also I'm sure being famous on on reality TV has it negatively or positively affected your dating life?
Negatively, yeah. I mean, everyone thinks you go on TV, you get the followers, you get the money, you get your nice car, you're going to be flooded with guys. It's just not the case. It's really not. Like, what I've found from my experience is that not all guys, but the guys that I've crossed paths with, they're quite intimidated. They don't like the fact that I'm a big woman, not a big woman, but like an independent woman who's like busy in their day-to-day life doing things. I've got drive and motivation. So like, that's one side of it. And then the TV side of it is they've either got a perception of me from the TV and they feel like they know me and they're not interested and they don't want to reach out. But then sometimes when I meet guys on a night out and I'm like, hi, you're right, oh, I recognize you from that show. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they start having a conversation with me and they're like, fuck, you're not different, but you've got more depth to you. I'm like, I know.
Well, they know you're a human being, right? They start to realize that you're a human being, not just someone on TV.
Exactly.
And that can be very frustrating. You said men tend to be intimidated and then probably insecure about like who you are as like an independent adult.
Yeah, I mean, I can only talk about my experience, right? So when Talk to Handle first came out, I started dating someone and I moved into his for like a couple of months. Like, this is an exclusive because I have not told anyone this. It's been a little while now, so I know I could talk about it because it's not fresh anymore. I moved into his and I was doing all my Talk to Handle interviews in his house, and I was doing all my press junkets and podcasts and all of that. And he just didn't like it. He was like, no, I'm sorry, but you're posting on TikTok all the time and you're posting on Instagram all the time. Like, I don't get it. Are you vain? And I'm like, I'm not vain. This is my job. This is my career. Like, if I don't promote myself, no one's going to see the work I'm doing. I don't get it. But yeah, with him, it was a insecurity thing. Like, he thought I would cheat on him because of the status. He thought now because I've got a little bit of, hate saying fame, a little bit of status behind me because I've been on TV, that I'm going to leave him for someone else, or I'm going to start forgetting he's there. So I don't know.
Was it also like a control thing because you have so much access through social media and a big following, that it was like, well, if I keep her off of it and if I kind of limit her access to using social media or shame her for using it, maybe, I'll keep our relationship just the two of us. And of course it's insecurity, but just like from a part of control.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been in toxic, controlling relationships before in my past. And let me tell you, I've learnt my lessons and I can recognize red flags now. And one green flag that I always swear by is if they're supportive of you and what you want to do and they stand by you, go for it. Because I am not putting myself in a box just to keep you happy.
It blows my mind too, because I feel like men should want an independent woman who can manage their own business and like be a badass. And it's like, you don't want that? Then I don't want you.
Exactly. But I mean, I'm talking like I've got loads of guys in my DMs. I definitely haven't. No one messages me. I just get weird photos of guys naked or like guys on the toilet, like come and scratch my back.
That's what you get in your DMs, like on a regular basis.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's not, you don't want to be that. That's terrible. I'm sorry for that.
It's all right.
You should. I feel like you could start a whole podcast where you just make fun of them. A whole video podcast where you just post their photos and you rate them based on their photography skills. Because we found, yeah, because I've noticed too. Like it's just one of those weird things. I feel like guys really need better lighting and better, just better posing and framing if they're going to take a dick pic, because they're always terribly taken. They're always like in the weirdest spots, and it's like, what are you thinking? Nobody wants to see a wrinkled little worm in bad lighting. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
No, and it's the balls. They think that if they put the balls higher and the peen squashed to the balls, it makes the balls look bigger. It doesn't. Hold on, wait.
This is something new to me here. So they're trying to make their balls look bigger in these photos. Like is this a?
So yeah.
Okay. That's odd. That's a really, I've never heard that before.
I like small balls.
Yeah. You don't want to be too big, not too big. Yeah.
You see the photo pass. Your balls are too big. You're trying too hard.
I don't want this.
You don't want to, right. Right. I mean, it makes sense. That's very, very fair. Are these all UK bald peen photos, or are they a lot of US as well? International, worldwide.
There's a lot of different shapes, sizes, colors, textures.
I'm so sorry that you have to get those messages. Like that's awful. That is so bad.
Some of them are videos.
Oh my, it's just the audacity on a man thinking, here's a celebrity. I want to send this to somebody just because I've seen them on TV or I think they're attractive. They deserve to see my dick. Like it makes no sense whatsoever. I don't understand what do they think is the end game here? Like, do you think you're gonna look at it and be like, oh, that's a great picture. I want to date you. Or is that what they think?
Well, do you know what, right? I don't know. But there was something that happened the other day, right? There's this guy that follows me and Nicole, my best friend, who was also on the season 1 of Talk to Handle. And on Instagram, you've got the love heart icon in the right-hand side next to the send button, and the message button. And you click on it and it shows your notifications. Well, at the very top, it says story mentions. So I click on that every other day, just in case someone's tagged me in something. And there was this guy who tagged me in a story. And I thought, oh, I don't remember bumping into anyone today. Like, what have they tagged me in? So I had a look. And honestly, he posted it on his main story. Okay, his main story. He's got over 1,000 followers. Everyone see it. He was twerking naked with his dick out. His balls were slapping and flapping everywhere. He was on his bed dancing to Madonna. Okay, and he tagged me. He tagged me in the story and asked for me to repost it.
That is so embarrassing.
Wow, he had aspirations of being some type of star. That's fucking awful. That's terrible and hilarious. Like that's the thing is, like, I hate that it's invading your boundaries and violating your space like this, but it's like darkly hilarious at the same time that this happens. At the same time, it's just fucking awful.
I felt sick.
Yeah.
I love it. I sent it to everyone. I sent it to my mom, my dad, my nan. I sent it to my friends.
Right.
Put it in the family group chat. Guys, have a look at this.
I mean, now you have a podcast where you can talk about this on a regular basis. You can talk about all the weird shit that you have
Dicks
a whole
of the week.
Yeah, your
balls
dick
of the week.
Balls of the week. There you go. You can have a whole section and just. Although the more you talk about it, I'm sure it's just more going to encourage creepy people to send shit like that too. So that's the only downfall.
I love it though. Keep sending them.
Are you on any dating apps now?
I'm not, no.
Okay. The DMs are enough.
yeah, the DMs are enough. Dating apps. I tried Raya once or twice. I matched with Lewis Capaldi.
Wow.
I messaged him, he never replied. So I thought, okay.
And then you were in LA as well for a while, right? When you were filming The Circle.
I was, yeah. No, not The Circle. The Circle was filmed in Manchester.
Oh, it was. I thought it because they were calling it. Okay, I didn't realize that. I thought that was LA something different?
So when I was in LA, I filmed the promotion for Love is Blind.
Oh, that's okay. Okay. And did you do any dating app swiping there?
No, I was seeing Mitchell, wasn't I, from The Circle. So I went over there to work with Netflix. I was there for like just over a week, and then I was seeing Mitchell when I was there.
Okay.
Have you noticed, just from your dating experience, a difference between US guys and UK guys? Pros and cons of either?
Yeah, I just don't know if I like American guys yet. I think it's because I've only dated one. I feel like that's enough.
Yeah. Probably.
I'm just used to UK guys, but I mean, I'm planning on moving to LA in the next 6 months. So hopefully when I'm over there, I can dabble and see what the hype is.
What is it? You've only dated one US guy. What did you not like? What was the thing that was different there? Or what were the personality type, or what made it different?
He was a virgin.
More
Good size.
conservative?
How were his balls? Were they good size? That's the important question.
Massive, yeah.
Massive. They're too big. Maybe that's the problem. They were too big. You said you don't like them. Yeah.
I also feel like everyone in LA, I'm not going to label everyone in LA as the same, but the majority of the people that I've met through my experience when meeting people in LA, they've all got really good ambition and drive, which is great, but there's nowhere to escape from that. Like everyone's just trying 100 miles an hour all the time. There's no break. And I feel like most American guys in LA just wouldn't have time for me, or like would just want to sit down and brainstorm with their friends for like the week I was down. Do you know what I mean? I got that vibe from them. I was just like, oh, here we go, another mental training exercise on how to make yourself better and make yourself rich.
Are they talking to you because of clout too? They're trying to gain something by being acquainted with you, that it's not even like a friendship thing?
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know. I kind of got that vibe when I went to a couple of parties in America, because everyone was like, oh, what's your name? What's your Insta? And I'm like, how are you? Are you okay? Because I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It was just weird. Everyone was, I think.
They
In
tend to
the
be very
UK.
self-absorbed, I think, in LA. Very self-absorbed and very focused on their success. It's hard to build real friendships in Los Angeles. I lived there for a while, and I think it can be very difficult because you don't know if someone's a friend with you just because of how many Instagram followers you have, or what they think you can do for them, or if they're actually like you as a person.
Exactly. Definitely. I mean, I did feel that energy when I was out there. People in the UK, we pride ourselves on being straight up. Like, we're so honest and we don't waste our time. So like when I went over to America, I went, I've got loads of friends now. And then none of them messaged me back. And I thought, wow, just crazy.
Well, I was going to say, well, I wish you all the success with LA, and hopefully you find like a close-knit group of friends that are real and like appreciate you for being you.
Yeah.
It is hard just moving to a new city and just like not really knowing anyone and trying to find people you can trust.
Yeah. Thank you.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about some juicy stories you might have.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be right back. No, we don't actually have a break. Obviously, it's going to go.
We'll just put an ad in.
We'll put an ad in later. So we don't
Love it.
So,
Love it.
All right, we're back with Chloe Veitch, and we're going to maybe get into some of the juicy stories maybe you've had. What would you say is your craziest, let's say, one night stand experience, or like craziest sexual experience that you've had that you're willing to talk about?
Craziest sexual experience. Oh God. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's disgusting. Does that still count?
Of course it does.
Yes,
100%.
yes, it
Yes.
Okay. Haven't even spoken about this on my own podcast yet. So again, no one knows this. Another exclusive. We love
Right,
it, don't
right.
we?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yes.
I was seeing a guy for a couple of months. We went away and it was beautiful, so scenic, right? I'm just setting the mood here. So like there's wild horses, there's waterfalls, it's in like a beautiful British countryside town, and we're in this hotel and he said, do you want to have sex? And I was like, oh yeah, but can we do foreplay? Because I love a bit of foreplay. I love it. We can't just dive straight into it because it
No.
just doesn't work. But I'd just eaten a whole box of Pringles in the car on the way to the hotel. So my stomach was a bit like, oh, because I've got IBS. Anyway, I'm on the bed. I'm undressed. He's undressed at this point. And I've gone to put the thing in my mouth. And he shoved it in right to the back of my throat.
No.
And I hate it when guys do that. Guys, if you're listening, girls do not like that. They hate it. It's an invasion of privacy of the throat. Sometimes the throat needs a little bit of privacy. Just slowly wedge it in. But yeah, I was sick all over his dick. A full box of Pringles, and it went everywhere, on his lap, on the bed, on his t-shirt, all over the balls and the gooch. I was mortified.
Not the gooch too. Oh, terrible.
It was just one of them really wet, dripply ones, and it got everywhere.
Okay, but how did he respond after that happened? Was he a gentleman and he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, or let me help clean this up? Like, what was his response?
I think he just went, oh. That was it. He just went, oh. Yeah, I don't find the gentleman guys. I don't, considering he just taken me to a really nice countryside with like lakes and stuff. Yeah, no.
That's terrible. And yes, men, if you're listening, you have to be gentle with that. You have to see something she wants, because there's nothing worse than a guy putting his hand on the back of someone's head and
Shoving it in.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
No one likes a
no
pusher.
one likes that.
They watch too much porn and they think that's what you're supposed to do. They don't understand that porn is not reality. That's pretty disgusting. That was so. You're not still seeing him? I'm guessing.
I'm not. No.
No, it's over.
It ended briefly after that.
Was his idea of foreplay, you suck my dick? Was that like, that's you wanted foreplay, so you wanted to be warmed up and all that, which is obviously not about his dick. Foreplay should be more about the woman than his dick. And that was his idea of foreplay, was okay, well, here, suck my dick. Yeah.
Well, sometimes I take one for the team, you know when you just jump into it and you're like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put it in.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. That's what I done.
But you hope that that's reciprocated though, and going, okay, I warm you up a little bit, you warm me up, and that, you didn't get the chance.
See, I've never spoke about this before, right? But I find it really hard to get in the mood. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something wrong with me, like, because people don't really talk about it a lot. But like, as a woman, Sarah, do you think, like, have you got that problem, or is it just me? Because I have to be physically touched for at least 10 minutes down there to even want to do anything.
I mean, it's all foreplay. Like, I'm not immediately like, oh, I see him and I'm in the mood, but it's like, I kind of like, I have a boyfriend and I communicate with my partner like, hey, like, let's make out, then like, let's go to you eating me out or whatever, and then we kind of lead into sex. Like, I can't just go, like, there's quickies every once in a while, but I just can't go from cold to hot immediately, and that's never the expectation.
Yeah, but guys can. I don't understand it. What is it with a guy that can just jump straight into sex? Like, when you get a boner, does that mean you're instantly horny? Or does that not work like that?
It kind of does, but sometimes it just means that you're basically, the blood has just left your brain, and you're just thinking with your dick instead. And so that's a lot of it. Because yes, you can get an erection without even being turned on. But a lot of times, yeah, it means you're ready to go. But I mean, maybe it's because as I've gotten older, I'm no longer like turned on like that. Like I don't get turned on instantly. I actually want to spend some time. I like cuddling. I like foreplay. I like making out and all that stuff before I really get turned on with someone. And so I think it's important as maybe as guys get a little bit older and maybe a little more emotionally mature, that they start to appreciate the emotional connection with someone as well. They're just not about getting their dick wet. But when you're younger, it's just about give me that minute and a half of just pumping really quick and then ask you if you came, even though of course you didn't, and then feel like you did something. And that's just
Exactly.
that's the young man's manual.
They always want that validation after, don't they? Did you come? I always fake it.
You should never fake it. No,
no.
don't let those little fuckboys think that they did a good job. You should always be like, maybe next time.
Yawn after.
Yeah, I need to start doing that.
Because
Maybe
guys, sometimes these guys think that they're these amazing Casanovas who have like these magical dicks that make women come every time because the woman fakes it, and so their ego is all So they finally meet a woman who's like, no, like you need to do more. Let's get the toys out, and they get all like offended because there's toys involved because they think that they have a magic dick.
Oh wow! I've been with a couple of guys before that are jealous of vibrators.
Oh no. Those are helpers, not hurt. Like those are going to help the experience and make it better. I always laugh of like when I didn't come in scenarios, and it's like, well, you licked my clit for 3 seconds. What did you expect? Like I'm not warmed up and I'm not gonna come.
I always find it hard to do it though. Like come, I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I feel like I need to be stimulated both, like the clit and the nun. Do you know what I mean? So like sometimes a little bit of vibrators need to be added and incorporated, but without diving too deep into that before we make anyone sick listening.
It is funny that I did a whole TikTok on this. I was saying that women should stop counting their partners because we shouldn't care about body count. It shouldn't be a thing that anybody cares about because why does it matter? But women should stop counting the body count, instead only count the partners who actually gave them an actual orgasm. And so many women are like, oh, my number would go from 50 to 2 or 30 to 1 or no man ever and every woman I've ever been with or whatever. So like, and I was like, that's how we should count it. And maybe men will start to consider it a little more if they realize that women like to have orgasms and we should put the effort into helping them get there.
I need to write this down. I'm writing this down because this just makes me feel better about my body count.
Oh, absolutely. You should never feel bad about that. There's nothing wrong. And, with how many partners you have, it just means that you know what you like and you're getting to know your body. And that's good. There's a lot of men who really try to shit on women for having more partners. And it's a toxic trait in men. It's a red flag if a man's going to have an issue with that, because men think if they have lots of partners that they're studs, but if a woman does, then somehow it's negative.
They have more experience if they have more partners, but if a woman does, it's like, oh well, you just fuck everybody you see. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I mean the stigma around that really pisses me off. But you know what? I get a kick out of telling guys when I first meet them, I've lost fucking count. I've lost count.
That's great. Yeah.
And they just look at me and they're in disbelief that I could be honest about that. Because so many of my friends are scared and hold back on telling the truth because they're ashamed of their body count. No, I am not. I'm going to tell you straight up from the get-go, I've lost count. And if you don't like that, then you're not obviously going to be my next. I'll find someone else that does love me, that will appreciate the fact that I love sex, because it's something to be celebrated. It's not something to be ashamed of.
I think the question, instead of what's your body count, it should be like, when were you last tested? Like, are we good? Then that's all that matters. Like, fuck the number or whatever. That's irrelevant.
I got tested last week.
Oh, well done. And that is actually good, because we need to take the stigma away from STD testing. That needs to be something people talk about a lot, because you want to be healthy, and the body count shouldn't matter. So it should be basically, when did you get tested, and what are your kinks? Like that should be the next thing, like you in the next conversation, because you want to find somebody who matches your kinks as well. And there's a lot of vanilla guys out there who I think they really think missionary style is kinky.
I love a bit of missionary, but sometimes you've got to bend me over.
Right.
Absolutely. We got to switch it up, keep it interesting, add some toys, get some lube.
Yeah.
Everything.
But they don't have to be like, I know girls get insecurities during sex, but I know that guys must do as well. Like when guys watch porn, they must think, oh my God, I've got to be a stud. I've got to be a stallion. My stamina's got to be on point. And it's like, well, no, not really, because you don't have to just plumb all your way in me to make me feel good. Like it's all about the kissing and the grabbing and the holding and the pulling the hair a little bit and like the stroking and the eye contact. It's stuff like that that gets me going. So like, guys, if you ever feel like you're doing a bad job, just slow it down a little bit and just be in the moment. I think that is my advice to someone who is actually worried about whether they are good in bed or not. Just be in the moment and just enjoy it.
And I think communication. How about ask? You know, that's really a big part of it. Do you like this? Do you want me to keep, like, those things? Communication is important. I think a lot of men are scared to talk in bed sometimes, and they're scared to ask questions. They're scared to make sounds. I'm sure. Have you ever had sex with a guy who's like completely silent, and you're just trying to figure out what's wrong with it? Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. I'm like, scream. I love it.
Please God, scream.
Yeah, make some noise, right? Yeah.
Oh, do you know what I've had before though? I've had a guy like this on top of me. Thanks God.
Like wait, what do you mean?
Wait, like he prayed when he came, or what?
No, he was having sex with me and he thanked God.
Oh.
Oh my God.
That's not normal.
No, that's not normal. That's not normal.
Immediately no.
I had a friend who was Christian, and after he would have one night stands, he would get his Bible out and cry. And usually with the girl still in bed next to him.
Oh no.
No, he was fucked up. He was very, like, there was a lot wrong with him. But yeah, that's awful. Have you now, are you the type to invite people back to your place, or do you want to go back to theirs so that you can make an escape later on?
To be honest with you, I never have one night stands ever.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't really care. Because like I can, even if I'm not really that attracted to someone, but like I'm all right with them being in my company and having sex with them, I don't really care about an escape route. I'm just down to chill. I'm like, right, should we get a pizza? Should we put a film on? Because I'm quite easy to be around. So I don't really mind if they're doing my head in. I think it might be the other way around. They might be like, how do we get rid of her?
And you're like, what's wrong? Don't you want to be around me?
You don't want to leave. I've got somewhere to be.
Yeah, a lot of times they're probably waiting to fart because they're waiting for you to leave. You know, that's the thing. You know, there's that whole, you know. I heard you told some story on another podcast you were on about something about farting. Do you remember the story that you told? It was on it was a sober dating podcast you were on for a while, and you were talking about being the girl that farted, and I didn't. Yeah. Well, what was the story though? I'm
just trying to think of the story. I don't know if there's a story attached to it. I know I do it a lot. I know I do it a lot. Okay. I'm that bitch that will come up in your place and be really polite and talk to all of your friends and make you feel comfortable, have sex with you, give you an amazing blowjob, but I'm gonna fart. I'm sorry. I've got IBS. And hun, that hurts to hold in. If I need to go to the toilet, then I will. I'm sorry, but I'm not putting myself in pain because of you, okay? I've got myself to that comfortable point where I'm like, I just can't do it. I mean, if it's a guy that I really like, then obviously I won't at the beginning, and then they start to fall out. Oh my God, I remember I was in doggy once and I actually farted and it was so embarrassing, but he carried on like a trooper. Oh my God, this is the story. No, this is the story. I've just remembered. So one of my exes, I was at his house and he said to me, oh, should we do a bit of 69, babe? I was like, yeah, go on then, love it. So I've jumped on, I'm straddling his face, and then all of a sudden my stomach goes, and I was like, no, what's going to happen? I think I need to fart. And it was brewing, like, you know, when you can feel it. And I was in that position where I was bent over and I was just like, no, my bum hole is in contact with his nose. This is not okay. And
Did you
then,
know it was gonna be a fart or like a
yeah,
short? Okay, okay.
no, I knew it. I just knew it. I could just tell that this was going to be a smelly, stinky, loud one. And I got off and said, "Oh, babe, 1 second, I need to get off." And he went, "No," and pulled my cheeks closer to his face, and I farted in his face, and it was disgusting. Oh, it was horrible.
You tried to
carried
warn
on.
him. You tried. You tried.
He was another trooper, actually. He carried on. He loved it.
Well, maybe he discovered a new kink that he didn't know about right there. You might have helped him explore a new boundary. That's what I think. It's important to start to be yourself around someone. As Sarah, we've talked about this on our other episodes. Sarah's had that issue as well, so she's
Have
very much-
IBS too.
Yeah,
It's like all
yeah.
the baddies have IBS, and it's like, well, at some point I gotta just do it because that's me being me, and I'm not gonna hide it and exactly be in pain.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is your ideal like relationship? Like what's kind of your, I'm gonna guess probably people think that you're the type that wants to go out all the time and club and all these things, but like if you're in a proper like relationship, you probably are like the stay home, order food in, watch TV type thing. Is that your relationship? Or like what's your relationship style?
My relationship style would be to go and visit as many different places as I can. Like, I don't really like going out clubbing with them because it's just, I've done that before. And I just don't like it. And I don't drink. So I prefer just sitting in, lighting some candles, face mask, bit of Netflix, or maybe cooking. I always cook brownies. If I like you, if I buy a brownie mix, ready-made, of course. No, pre-made or pre-mixed? Pre-mixed. To then make myself. I always bring brownie mix around someone's house if I really like them.
Do you also cook for them? Because I saw a TikTok of you doing like a cooking thing. It's just the brownie mix.
I don't cook, no. I don't cook ever.
Yeah, your little TikTok of your recent one of your cooking tutorial, that was pretty funny. That was entertaining.
I was just like, squeeze a dog biscuit and then your food is ready. There's no way I can cook. I mean, I would like, I'm 23. So when I get older and when I have to settle down and when I want to settle down, I will learn to cook.
You don't think you should learn now just for yourself? Like, what do you do? Do you order all your food in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you make brownies for yourself too.
Yeah,
So
I do. Yeah, I treat
Okay.
myself. I'm a sugar addict. I love chocolate and crisps and sweets.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I mean, I don't cook either, and that's why I found someone who cooks. So he's taught me more than what I had to bring to the relationship.
Yeah, I think that's what I have to do. That is what I have to do, literally. Just find someone that can cook. So much easier.
Yeah, they're out there. Plenty of men know how to cook, especially like men who have lived lives as adults, independently. I think that's a big part of it. Who haven't just gone from living with their parents to something else where they've never actually had to cook. But yeah, it's a good skill. So what skills would you say you bring to like a relationship? What is it that people want to? Why would someone want to date you? I mean, obviously, other than your personality and you being entertaining and all that.
I feel like I'm just a really, really positive person, really positive. And for me, that's a turn on with a guy. So like I've got this energy where if someone's upset or someone's annoyed, I will never add to that. I'll always try and calm them down. I'd always try and give them the reassurance, or I'm very touchy-feely. And if someone likes that, then that's great. I'm very caring, but with small things. So I'll write like little notes and leave them around the house, or I'll be thoughtful and buy them little gifts. And then like all of a sudden they've got like a collection of little gifts. Sometimes I go psycho and I buy them certain things that they need that they can't get rid of if we break up. So then when we do break up, every time they look at that thing, they remind themselves of me. It works.
Yeah.
Do it on purpose.
You spray perfume on the pillow before you leave. So then when they go to bed, they smell you the next morning and they're like, oh, it makes them fall in love with you even more. It does. It works.
Right. Sounds like a good plan. what advice would you give women trying to date who are like sick of shitty men and sick of some of the toxic dating culture and maybe the, just the toxic masculinity and all this stuff? Like what advice would you give for women who are trying to successfully date in the world?
What advice would I give? Okay. Just trying to think about that one because I'm still single.
I mean,
So I
true.
don't know. But one thing that I've learned through many toxic relationships is please do not try and be the person you think he wants you to be. Because being yourself will find you the right person for you. If you enter a relationship and start acting differently because he is, it's not going to work because you're not being true to who you are. So just remain true to who you are and it'll work.
100%.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's great advice. And it also includes not faking orgasms.
Oh God.
So true. Yeah, we got to stop that. We're stopping that today. No more.
Yeah, just let them know they did a
Just
bad
being
job.
honest.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I enjoyed it, but I didn't come. So could we do a round 2 where you focus a little bit more on me and see what he says? I
Yeah.
mean, like, who's not going to want to do a round 2? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, sure. I'll focus a little more on you.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get a little bit worried about like, how do I say that to a guy? Like, because I'm really self-conscious about getting on top of a guy. So sometimes I'm like, how do you want me to do it? And they're just like, oh, just what you're doing is great. And I'm like, oh, what? No, just tell me a bit more.
That's because as guys, it's just easy. Like it's, all it takes is a stiff breeze and 30 seconds and we're going to have an orgasm. Like it's not, so like, that's why anything works with men. And that's why a lot of men also don't know that they don't understand that women take more work a lot of times. And so it takes a little more communication and back and forth and listening. And like I said, foreplay, oral, toys, all those things can be involved without triggering their insecurity. But if you tell a guy, yeah, I'm not quite there, or I'm not going to get there, it's okay. I still had fun. It was still fun. I'm not going to come. It's fine. Or you can say, I'm not going to come. Can we switch positions? Do you go down on me for a bit? You can ask those things. And if they get shitty about it, then you can be like, oh, okay, well, I'm done seeing you right now.
That's your sign.
Yeah, it's a red flag right there.
Okay, I need someone that's going to go down all the time.
Absolutely.
So,
that should be a priority.
I dated a bunch of men who hated doing that. And then I found someone who liked doing that. Game changer. Like you just need someone who's like totally game and open to making you satisfied and like wants to pleasure you. Like it's crazy that that's a rare thing to find, but you just kind of have to siphon through all the bullshit of men and be like, no, like I deserve pleasure too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, I love the conversations we've had today. It's been really, really productive for my mind.
Good.
I'm going to go back and I'm going to practice all of these.
Well, and like as a man, I know that the first time I actually genuinely gave a woman an orgasm, to the point that like, her knees were shaking and she couldn't move, and it was a thing. Like I was like, holy shit, I want to do that more. Like that encouraged, that inspired me to be like, I want to make that happen a lot, because that was amazing. Like that, I got a high off of that, of just like them being so like coming so hard. And so I think it's a thing that when men learn what it's like to help a woman reach an orgasm, an actual orgasm, like it empowers them to try to pleasure women more.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want them pleasuring anyone else, just me.
Oh, right, of course, obviously. So your advice for women is spot on. To be yourself, don't change who you are. What advice would you give to men who are very frustrated dating? Like you've dated a lot of men. How would you tell them to be successful in dating?
How would I tell the guys? What would I tell the guys?
Well, let's how about if you had some of your bad dates? What would you say to one of your shitty men that you've been out with that was bad? Like what would you say if you were going to correct them? What's a correction you would give to men? Here's how not to fuck up a date with me. How about that?
Talk less, listen more. I don't care. You ramble about yourself for an hour. My social battery is now drained and I'm going back home to charge myself and my bullet.
Oh, and your bullet.
Yep, absolutely. There we go.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
Oh, you should want to leave a date feeling super energized. So yeah,
Yeah. I
definitely
know.
really good advice.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is great.
Well-
And yes, yeah, we're gonna go ahead, Sarah.
I know I was gonna say I think we've wrapped up this conversation, but Adam always likes to do the spitfire at the end of each episode with a guest.
Okay.
Just quick questions. First thing that comes to
It's like
mind.
5 questions. You just answer the first thing that comes off the top of your head.
Even if it doesn't make sense.
Even if it doesn't make sense, just
Yep.
answer
Okay.
whatever. And of course, everybody should check out Chloe Veitch's Bangin', available on all podcast apps. Is it weekly? I know you have 1 episode out already.
It is weekly, yeah.
Okay, so
Every
there'll be
Tuesday.
so there's 1 episode out now. There'll be 2 by the time this episode comes out. There'll be 2 episodes out you can listen to it, so you can subscribe and make sure you don't send her any dick pics or videos on her social media. Please give her a
No.
break. Chloe has too much of that. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into this quick spitfire, and then we'll wrap everything up. So
Amazing.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Number 1, fuck, marry, kill: Harry Styles, Prince Harry, or Harry Jowsey?
Oh, fuck Harry, marry Harry Styles, and kill Harry the Prince.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, I just realized, is that something we can say on air?
Is that illegal? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh God, just put him in the bin. I'll just put him in the bin.
There we go.
Put him in the bin.
Next question. If you could live anywhere in the United States, where would you choose?
LA.
Doesn't have to be LA. Oh, LA.
LA. That's it.
It's the only place I know of.
Oh, yeah. You've never seen this TV show where all of a sudden you're like, oh, that looks really cool to live, just because no. All right, LA,
New York.
New York too. I could see you doing well in New York.
Really?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. Absolutely. Number 3. What's your guilty TV pleasure?
What's the first thing that pops up into my head? I don't know. I don't really watch TV. Anything like Step Brothers. I love Step Brothers, the film. Play it
The
over
movie?
and over again. And Elf, the
And
Christmas
Elf.
movie.
Step Brothers is great. There's so much more room for activities. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Brennan, can I ask you a question? Have you ever had guacamole?
Number 4. If you could consensually bang any person, real or fictional, who would it be?
I love the way you put consensual in there.
Very important.
Justin Bieber.
You might have a chance at that, moving out to LA, being famous, and just who knows? It could eventually happen.
Married, but I'm up for threesome.
Celebrity marriage. Oh yeah, there you go. Threesome. Celebrity marriages never last, anyways. And finally, here's our last one. Just whatever comes off the top of your head. Finish this sentence. Chloe Veitch is.
Banging.
There we go. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Chloe, thank you so much for joining us on Data Kinda Sucks. We appreciate having you. This has been a fantastic conversation.
Oh, honestly, you guys are amazing to talk to. Thank you so much for having me on. I just wanted to plug the TikTok for the Bangin podcast as well. It's Bangin with Chloe V Pod.
Yes. All right. We'll actually
Thank
put
you
it.
very much.
We'll put it in our show notes as well. And I just followed that TikTok yesterday,
Yeah.
so I'll be checking that out. And thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Whether you're married or single or poly or ace, or hanging out with swingers back at your place, listen to us as we give no fuck on Tinder and Bumble and plenty of yucks, trying and having no luck, because we all know dating kinda sucks. Sarah and Adam are 2 of a kind. He says stupid shit and she doesn't mind. They're not doing this show to make any buck. Life as a chicken whose feathers they pluck. Why does it work? Well, here is the crux. They both know dating kinda sucks. Dating kinda sucks.